Welcome to another episode of Speaking with the Senator. I'm Senator Kevin Avard, your host, and today is July 3rd, and we're going to be celebrating our nation's 250th tomorrow, so I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. And we have a couple of patriots in our studio today, but we're going to be speaking with our state representative from Hollis, Liz Barbour, and I believe this was your first year, Liz, wasn't it?
My first term, yes.
Yes, well, welcome to the show. We're glad that you can make it, and
you're
definitely a patriot being here on a Friday before the 4th of July. I looked at my car before I got in here. It was 99 degrees.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yes.
But I remember my dad saying when we didn't have air conditioner, we're all hot. Yeah.
Listen, we didn't grow up with air conditioning at all. You sprayed down your sheets before you went to bed so you could sleep on cool sheets at night.
Oh, I don't know. We did that.
Yeah.
Wow, we didn't do that. I just kept tossing and turning and put the fan on, put my head out the window, stuff like that. Yeah, so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service. It was quite an interesting year.
It was. I have to say, though, I've had a great time.
Yeah.
Yes. Both years have been an incredible learning curve for me. And at the end of my first year, I was actually appointed as vice chair of my committee, the Environment and Agriculture Committee. So it was quite an honor to be asked to step up for that.
Quite an interesting bills went through your committee this year.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
And, whenever you talk about pets or pickles.
Pickles, yep.
The world comes unglued.
I know.
And you have to really set up a certain amount of time for those issues because they can really be volatile because of the amount of special interests that are out there to sway the population.
Right. Well, I love the pickle bill because, that was, first of all, that was all about working with Senator Victoria Sullivan because this took place initially in Manchester. And so the idea is that municipalities, what she discovered, they were overstepping, and they were allowed to do this in law. They could then impose laws that were stricter than what the state required for homesteading.
Through rules.
Right. Now, homesteading is a huge growth in that industry. It's the way we used to be. You used to be able to can pickles in your home and sell it to your neighbor. And that was your way of making some money. You could barter, you could trade, you could sell, et cetera. And then, that kind of went away. But now we see this big insurgence of this, and people are becoming much more independent, which I really appreciate. Hollis is a farming community. I want all of my farmers, large or small, to be able to sell the things that they produce.
Right.
So what was happening is this man was creating, making pickles. And the state the town municipality came in and said, no, shut him down. You're breaking the law. What we discovered in testimony once that bill came to the House was that Nashua, for example, was actually preventing those food sellers who were at farmers markets in Nashua. They would not let them sell their products, which they could legally do in their own towns. They couldn't do it in Nashua unless they had an official food license, which is far above what was required for a homesteader. So we have some pretty clever legislators. Actually, the Nashua rep, Kevin Scully, came through with an amazing amendment that put an end to that. And the governor signed the bill.
Yes, I saw that,
Yeah.
That's very good news.
Yeah.
It's the Department of Bureaucracy that people don't understand sometimes, that when the department has a law, they can have the ability to make the rules to comply with the law. But the hidden mystery is, if the rules kind of overstretch, those become the force and effect of law. And you have no way of changing that because they were given that license. I wrote a book about that. It's called The Quaker Parrot That Changed New Hampshire Law.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and it's a children's book, but it's a way to show that there was a dilemma because of a rule that needed to be changed. And the only way you could change the rule is by going to the department. Department says no, then you have to make a law to force the hand of the department to change the rule.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened with the pickle bill.
Right. And, food freedom is just, as I said before, it's so critical to the entire state of New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the bills that came through my committee were about that topic. I sponsored a bill. It was simple. It was about labeling eggs and weighing them and making sure that what you say they come out to be, they actually
weights and balances,
are.
Yeah.
But what it did was it opened up a larger look into the current rules, which were saying that if I was selling my chicken's eggs and I took a market basket egg carton and I put it in there and I hadn't specifically weighed my eggs and the carton says medium, they all have to be medium by law, or I'm breaking the law. We don't want our backyard farmers and egg sellers to have to go through this. So we took this bill and we fixed it. We fixed the law so that no one who is selling a dozen eggs from their little chicken coop is going to be arrested.
You can't drive through Hollis, Brookline, or anywhere in some of the outer towns without driving by this little stand that says honey for sale or eggs.
Yes.
And there's a little box where you can put your donation in there. And it's, it's common everywhere you go. So the Department of Bureaucracy seems to weigh in sometimes too often, and it just makes life miserable for everybody.
Well, I've been a business owner in the food industry for over 25 years in the state of New Hampshire. And, we entrepreneurs need to be supported. And our laws, especially coming through about homesteading and food, we have a great group of legislators that understand that. And those are the people I've been able to work with who are bringing these laws forward, who are correcting statute so that our citizens have the food freedom that they.
And you do a cooking show too, don't you?
Well, it's been a while. I actually have retired because I have been a cooking instructor. So I retired from that so that I could devote more time to my legislative responsibilities. But I didn't sit back. I went ahead and decided to be a publisher and editor of the only printed newspaper in Hollis.
Interesting. So you are the public record of...
I am. So when
what is it called?
It's called Positively Hollis.
Okay.
And so when a law requires that someone make notice in the newspaper of public record, that's the Positively Hollis.
Something like whether the school's going to do some emergency meetings or something like that?
Yes. Now, our paper is nonpartisan. We are quarterly, but it's important to inform. So if the law requires, we open the paper for that.
Right.
Schools should not be a partisan issue anyway. It affects all of us. So we are happy to make sure that they are complying with the law and that we can support that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it raised eyebrows this morning. I was talking to some gentlemen at the mobile station. Two old guys, they're sitting outside and they're just having a cigarette and their coffee and just, hey, how you doing? That kind of, it's a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. And we're just talking about property taxes. Mm-hmm. And, one of the older gentlemen said to me, my house is paid off, but I still have an $800 a month rent, if you will, that goes to my property taxes. Now, my home insurance is only $700. And I said, oh, so you get to eat, right? Right? You get to use it. And it was a chuckle, but he says, yeah, how are we going to stop this is what they said. And there is a bill that is going to be coming up. We're going to be probably doing a public service announcement on that, HB 1300, which will put on the ballot if the governor signs it. It should be in her possession at this point. It'll be on the ballot whether the people want to put a cap on taxes, on property taxes. And, we're just talking about the schools, and it just seems like in Hollis alone, I understand there's 46 administrators to 60 teachers. I don't know if that's correct. I'm pretty sure it is, but that seems to be out of balance.
I think that kind of imbalance is prominent all over the state. I can't give you the exact numbers, but I do know that my superintendent is making more money than the governor of the state of New Hampshire. So, but we also now have I think 2 or 3 assistant superintendents as well. So,
so is one super and one's extra super and the other one is super?
Super duper. Yeah. No. So I think part of that issue is that when we accept federal dollars within our school systems, that comes with a lot of requirements from the federal government, right? And that can come at a lot of costs. So we need to know, as a taxpayer, what federal programs are you accepting that would then be adding administrative costs, hiring somebody to run the program, all of the materials for that program. So we want to see more transparency involved because these are the hidden costs that we as property taxpayers don't necessarily know. Now, the interesting thing about HB 1300, the tax cap, is that has to be on a November ballot.
Right.
Where the most voter turnout is typically the case.
Right.
So more voters in the ballot, in the booth, will actually have the chance to cast that vote, whether they want the tax cap or not.
And I think that's the critical thing, because these older gentlemen are saying to me, what can be done?
Yeah.
Well, we are doing something about it, but if we're going to be able to do something about it, you got to get to the voting booth in this November, and you got to weigh in on it. Usually, the midterms have they don't have as great a turnout as the general, but this midterm is as important in New Hampshire as the general election because of that very one question. Praying that the governor signs it. I'm hoping she will. Right. And if it does, then it gives people the option to weigh in. Enough is enough. The Democrats say that they're not for an income tax, but we know that's not the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that it's clear. And so we're giving the people the option, because that's all I'm hearing.
Right.
Property taxes. Food, obviously, food is a very big deal. Mm-hmm. As you know, I do all my food shopping as well.
You meet in the grocery store all the time.
Well, let's clarify that. Yes, we do. And I see a lot of people in the grocery store, and they're concerned. I go to Uncle Ben's rice. It used to be $1 per packet, and now it's $4. And I don't know if it's a healthy thing or not, but it's like the jasmine rice. It used to be $1 a packet. Now it's 2 for $5.
Right. Well, it's really important to remember, Hollis tends to be it's a wealthier community. That does not mean that our retirees who live on a fixed income are not feeling this pinch. In fact, they are. And so the House Republicans, the Senate Republicans, we are providing tools to help taxpayers, property taxpayers, lower their taxes. But you got to show up to vote, because that's where we're providing the option for you. We're putting those into the ballot boxes. We're helping you at town meetings so that you can use those enabling tools to then say, you know what, enough is enough.
It seems to be one of the arguments on the left that, the reason that the schools are becoming more and more expensive is because of the voucher program. Yeah. And it is, I know it's ridiculous, but people have to understand that there are people that have been homeschooling for years. They have not been provided the services, and yet the towns still get the money for the money, even though they're not getting the services. When the children go to a school like Mac Society or the Academy of Science or some of these other programs, the School of Music in Salem, it's $9,000 per child.
Right. And the remainder of that child's cost of education stays in their hometown.
Yeah.
But that $9,000 that you mentioned, that's what it costs to educate a child at a charter school.
Yep.
That's what they get. So people need to know this and need to understand that budgets should not be built on the funds that are intended to follow the child.
Right.
Right. So we have the EFAs. I think it's up to $5,000 or $6,000. That is the state amount of their education funding. That should follow the child. We have known that all along, right? And yet, when they say you're taking all our money away from us, they're building budgets on the backs of those individual children.
Yeah. I look at, well, I don't even want to say this. Have you ever watched The Matrix?
No.
Well, I have a number of times. And, it seems there's this one point where our hero Neo is shown a battery, and where individuals are turned into, instead of being humans, they're just being used as batteries. And sometimes I wonder if children are being exploited by the Department of Bureaucracy, because there's a lot of money behind them that funds them. Kearsarge alone, $33,000 per child. $33,000 to educate those children in Kearsarge.
But we know that those kids are not, they're not succeeding. They're not getting the scores
they're not.
That we are paying for.
And enrollment is down.
And
So, some people call it a Department of Bureaucracy, and I tend to use that because it just seems to keep feeding itself, and we need more money, more money, more money. And it's 70% of your tax bill.
Well, let me also clarify. I think that good teachers should be paid.
I agree.
I think that they should be teaching the subjects that are provided for them. They aren't intended to be activists. They shouldn't be training our children to be activists. Our administrators should not be micromanaging every aspect of our educational process. When you do that, you're creating more tasks for them to do, which is more time, which is more requirement. And also, as I mentioned, the federal funding, when you get a federal program in.
It comes with a hook.
Right. But our teachers, those who are still teaching the fine craft of classical education, they should be rewarded. We want the very best for our kids.
Right. Right.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
And scores are down from what I understand. But the MAC societies, the school in Salem, or that music school, they have kids in NASA doing projects that are going up into space. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I visited it, and the kids are enjoying it. They're having fun. But I'm running a little bit out of time. So tell me a little bit about your campaign. You're running again, obviously?
I am, and I'm very excited. So I am running with two great running mates. I've got Jack Flanagan, who now he will have served 10 years at the State House. He was actually the majority leader in 2014.
Yep.
So I've got a guy who's got a lot of experience, and of course he served last term. So very lucky to have him. And then we've added to our ticket Dr. Jim Kelly, who is a Hollis resident, physician. He's a retired Army colonel. He comes with just an enormous amount of experience in the healthcare industry, which, we really need to be looking at, obviously. And then, of course, we have Veterans Affairs, and we need to take care of our vets. And so I know that Jim is going to be a voice in both of those areas. So I think the three of us complement each other. My business experience, Jack's legislative experience. We've got Jim with his healthcare and veterans experience. I don't think there could be a better ticket in New Hampshire for the Republican Party. Well,
we appreciate you stepping up to the plate, that's for sure. How do people get in contact with you?
They should go to our website, commonsensefornh.com. They can reach out to all of us there. Follow us on Facebook. My Facebook is Liz for Hollis. I'd love to have you there. And I'm always open to a phone call or an email. All of that information is on commonsensefornh.com. So people text me sometimes, Senator, how can I help you with your campaign? Yeah. And get involved. I'm sure they're going to ask you. They just have to contact you with your website? Yep, just reach out through the website. And of course, any donation is going to be welcome and used very wisely.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching Speaking with the Senator. And if you like the show, please hit subscribe and like. And if you don't like the show, please hit subscribe and like. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.